Hiya. Today I'm going to do a really bright blue glittery eye makeup because we've got Strictly on in a bit and I want to be dressed for the occasion. I'm starting with a little bit of CC cream illumination all over. And actually that's one of the things I would say if I'm doing quite a bright makeup or there's going to be a statement feature on my makeup, like I'm hoping this eyeshadow is going to be, I like to keep everything else looking as fresh as possible, really. Although that said, because this is a Strictly Come Dancing kind of theme, if I do fancy going quite wild with it, I feel like that's going to be appropriate. Just to fill you in, there's I have just fallen down a rabbit hole of TikTok over the past few weeks, probably like a month or so now. I'm really enjoying it. And there's this trend for basically, it's like a colour song. And she says all the colours and everyone changes their outfits. So I want to do all these different coloured makeups and make a makeup video. So you're going to have basically like bright glittery makeup after bright glittery makeup this week. Now, that's on all over. Delighted with that. And I'm going to set this with some setting powder. Now, because I'm going for such bright blues, I'm going to use something to prep my eyelids. The reason being, which, I mean, I am essentially asking for trouble here, but I've actually got, I've got QVC shows tonight. I'm just calling in from home. So I'm going to be taking this off and then doing my makeup for that. And anything that's quite bright has the potential to stain. So you want to make sure if you're using a brighter colour that you're prepping with something. I'm prepping with a little bit of the MAC Painterly Pro Longwear Paint Pot, it's called. I'm going to take this on a little creamy Real Techniques brush. Now, as you can see for me, this is pretty much the same colour as my eyelids anyway. But it just means that this blue is going to sit on that paint pot rather than on my eyelids. And when I come to take it off in a little bit, there's a little protective layer between this and my actual eyelids. Blue isn't terribly bad, although it would be one of the ones you'd want to watch out for. If you're going in with a red or a pink or anything like that, don't miss this prep step. It is absolutely crucial. And I'm going to set that as well with my powder. And then the first thing, 3 minutes already and I've barely done anything. I'm sure I'll get it on though. The first thing I'm going to do is put a bright blue eyeliner on as well. This is Ocean Drive from MAC. I'm sure I used this before actually. And it was quite well liked. It's a real electric blue. Now for my eyes, I'm going to be using some Peaches pigments. And I love them. They're really great to use and they also don't cost the earth. So if you did want to treat yourself to any little bits, they're nice and affordable. But that said, if you are just here for a Strictly chat, in fact, let's just revisit last night's Strictly briefly while I'm getting this on. Now, Aliash, Oti, now Johannes are just always my faves. And I think on reflection, I was really excited to see Caroline and Johannes last night because I absolutely loved them last week. But on reflection, having given it a bit of time to sink in, Bill and Oti were my favourites last night. I thought they did really, really well. Poor Clara's dress. I was on the edge of my nerves. I'm going in with a bit of sapphire, by the way. I was on the edge of my nerves for Clara's dress, but I feel like they both coped really well with that. I'm just going to pick this up and put it in the lid because it's a loose pigment. I want it to be in my brush and I don't want drop down because I've done my base first. And I'm going to really gently, there's actually hardly anything on this brush as you can see, really gently tickle this through the socket. What else did I feel about last night? I just think Oti is an absolute goddess every single series, isn't she? I'm really missing Kevin, I'm not gonna lie. I absolutely love Kevin. I do really like them all, to be fair. Like, I feel like when you've watched Strictly for a long time, you end up warming to all of them, don't you? I tell you who I thought was great last night was Karen and Jamie. I think they're going to be one to watch for us. So yeah, that is my thoughts and views. Now, I'd better focus on this before there's an absolute crisis. I know this looks not very nice. I'm taking the same brush for now and just blending the edges of this blue. Now, one of the things I want you to keep in mind, in fact, a couple of things. First of all, if you're going for something quite adventurous, try and keep a couple of spare, completely clean brushes to hand, because they are going to save you in a tight corner. The second thing I would have you remember is that glitter absolutely distracts from any mistake that you might make. So what I'm actually going to do here, once I'm happy with the blend of this blue, how am I doing for time? 6 minutes 20. Once I'm happy with the blend of this, I'm going to build it to be a little bit more intense. I'm going to take this brush that I was just using actually. Here I am running out of time and literally picking hairs off my top. I think this brush might be a bit large. Okay. Now look how rich that is when you're packing it on, kind of at the full capacity it's meant to be. That brush is too big and it's annoying me. I'm gonna take, see how small that is? That's the kind of brush that's gonna be your best friend doing something like this, because it's so much easier to build something like this up than it is to take it down if we go wrong, which I'm sure we're going to see in a minute when we come to remove that little bit of drop down, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Now you'll notice I'm tilting my head up slightly and my head back. I don't want there to be more drop down. I want to minimise the drop down so that we've got minimal things to tidy up. Realistically, I should have done these before my base, but I was all excited talking about Strictly and, you know, I've landed myself into this situation now. Now, I'm just making that nice and intense on both sides. We're going to blend now so that that blue bleeds out. As you can see, that one has bled a little bit better, but a tiny bit of blending from our original brush will help this to soften out, and then we'll go back in and build the intensity once again. This side is coming on lovely. We just need to keep going back and building this one up. So, same again, head back slightly. I've got so much blue on this cheek, but not to worry, I'm going to show you what we'll do with that. Softening it out. Now, I actually love it quite top heavy. I'm going to match at the bottom, because if we're doing a Strictly Come Dancing theme, then you can't very well just go for half measures, can you? So I'm going to take a little pencil brush and go right the way under this eye as well. Now, I've obviously got blue eyes, so this isn't an awful contrast. But if you had like brown eyes, for example, this makes them pop so much. It's incredible what this does on brown eyes. And I also think sometimes if you're a bit daunted by wearing a bright colour, just actually going for it the whole hog and not messing about with too much else. Like, I've created the whole eye makeup there with just one colour. I'm going to take a clean brush to tidy the underneath of that. Now, I actually love this the way it is, but I've had it in my head that I'm going to put a bit of glitter over the top of it. I may come to regret that, but let's just do it. Now, where is my clean? Gonna just soften the edge of this ever so slightly. Lovely. This is coming together now. It'd want to be. We're 10 minutes in. And I'm going to take that same brush that we packed the colour on with. I was going to go in with Hocus Pocus. I wish I had Kate with me to tell me. She is my friend at Double Denim. Kate and Nicola own Peaches in Liverpool, and I always say to Kate, I don't have a clue which colours go well together, and she tells me the best combinations. I'm going in with a bit of Double Denim blue glitter, which isn't striking enough for me, so I'm going to now go in with a pink so that we get more of a contrast. It's actually a shame. This is showing up really nicely for me, but it's difficult, isn't it, for it to come through on the camera. Okay, I need to get a move on because we're running out of time. First thing you're going to do with any drop down is take a clean brush and buff it off. There's still some excess left. Now I'm going to go in with my foundation brush that still has some product on it and tidy it up with that. And that's the best way to correct any mistakes. I'm going to carry on and do the rest of my face so that if I run out of time, we've got all of the basics on. So the next thing I'm going to go in with, I'm going to do my lips next. I'm going to take some MAC Subculture liner, which is a nude for me. Very similar to my natural lip colour. And I'm going to go just on the outskirts. And then, have you ever seen the film Death Becomes Her? It's one of my favourites. And they basically have this anti-aging vial. It's like an elixir of life. Jimmy Choo have just launched a beauty line. And honestly, the first thing I thought of was this elixir. So, just going to show you this. It's just a really, luxurious, quite vintage looking treat. I'm going to go in with one of these lipsticks. This is the nude shade. First time I've used it. And it's got that kind of like old lipstick smell, like you would have had if you went into your mom's makeup bag, or for me, it'd be my auntie's makeup bag in particular. She always used to have lipsticks like that. Okay, I'm going in with a little bit of setting powder through the centre. I'm going to take some bronzer just in the areas where the sun would naturally hit. I don't want to put too much colour elsewhere because I want these blue eyes to be the focus. I'm going to put loads of mascara on in a moment to pull everything together. And I'm going to take a little bit of Peaches pigment in Pearl. This is a luminous golden pinky, very Strictly-esque. Take that right the way through these cheeks. And now I had lashes put out and everything. I don't know what I thought I was going to achieve in 15 minutes, but if I just show you a nice thick layer of mascara, even takes something as bright and overpowering as that blue and just pulls it together and makes it feel less scary and much more wearable, So if you've got a bright colour that you haven't worn in a while, I feel like if you can't wear it to watch Strictly Come Dancing, then when can you wear it? Okay, 10 seconds left. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm going to do loads more bright makeups this week to make my little video, so we'll see how we go.